What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. It is predictions time for Super Rugby Aotearoa. We have hit round 9. We've got 2 weekends of New Zealand rugby left, and what a fantastic tournament it's been. Full of excitement, full of entertainment, hard, solid rugby, and it's really been a cracking tournament that I, even as a South African, have thoroughly enjoyed. Credit to New Zealand and to the teams for proving for providing us with an absolutely outstanding tournament. Yeah, 2 weekends left, and what fixtures, cracking fixtures we have for us. We've got the Hurricanes taking on the Chiefs. We've got the Crusaders taking on the Highlanders. This tournament could pretty much be all said and done after this weekend, or we could see an upset that could allow opportunities for the Blues to maybe come back and take it in the final game of this tournament. A lot to look forward to, a lot to talk about, but let's start off with the Hurricanes taking on the Chiefs. Chiefs obviously have not had a great season at all. They started off the original Super Rugby campaign with a few solid wins, but unfortunately in Aotearoa they haven't picked up anyone at all. They've come close, they've had the opportunities, they've had the potential to do it, but unfortunately towards the end of the game they seem to switch off. Hurricanes have really looked good. They've played 10 games, won 4, lost 2. I mean, that's not bad at all. Jordie Barrett has been solid for them. TJ Perenara has been solid for them. We've seen great moments from Ardie Savea. He hasn't been a diehard that we've normally seen, but when in doubt, now's the time to prove yourselves for these international stars to really, or All Black stars to really stand out. No sign of Cruden in this game for the Chiefs, which is a bit of a worry, but there's still great talent in Damien McKenzie, who really looked like he wanted to do a lot last weekend, and he's going to need to do a lot more this weekend. It's going to be a cracker. We've seen these teams perform in close battles. We've seen really tight battles before, but lately obviously the Hurricanes are leading because they beat them 25-18, obviously, and that was an away loss or away win for the Hurricanes. So they will be going into this game with a lot of confidence. Having said that, the last time these two played before that was obviously in the original campaign of Super Rugby. I must say the Chiefs did win 24-27. There was a time when the Chiefs could do this. So I really believe that they can do it again. They just need to get their mindset and focus right in order to really show up on the game. But obviously, going into this one, obviously the favourites gotta be the Hurricanes. I mean, they produced some great results. We've seen, as I've mentioned, phenomenal performances from Jordie Barrett. But Warren Gatland is hungry for a win. He will not want to end this tournament on a tournament where he absolutely doesn't get a single win. This team is desperate. Sam Cane is desperate. He will also be wanting to show that leadership and toughness, especially now, is an important time for him to shine going forward. It's going to be a cracker. I think it's going to be a battle to the absolute end. But for me personally, I still feel that the Hurricanes just going to do it. They've got a home game. You're playing it at Wellington. They're going to have the crowd on their advantage. It's just going to be a tough one. I really hope for the Chiefs' sake that we can see a surprise win here, because I think they deserve it. They've come close. They've had the opportunities and the potential to do it. But it all comes down to those last minutes, because that seems to be the reason that costs this team. So they need to really show up and play the game properly. But as a prediction-wise, I've got to go with the Hurricanes, but I won't be sad if the Chiefs pick up a win. Then we look at the next one, Sunday's game, the Crusaders taking on the Highlanders. Very important game, this one, because if the Crusaders pick up a bonus point win, they sure as hell are the new Super Rugby Aotearoa champions. However, the Highlanders, they're a tough team. With the leadership of Aaron Smith, anything can happen. There's some phenomenal players within the squad, and if they just keep to their own and play a full game of rugby, they can produce the results that they're wanting to get. Now, obviously, if we look at this, everyone's going to say Crusaders, Crusaders, Crusaders. Let's not forget the pressure that's on the Crusaders right now. They know that they can win this, seal the deal, but that's what puts them under pressure. And they know that they've been in great form, but again, pressure can talk. We saw it against the Hurricanes. There were moments last weekend when even the Chiefs could do something. But for me personally, if the Highlanders want any opportunity at perhaps getting a victory over these big boys in the Crusaders, they need to be sharp in that second half, and they need to be even more sharper in those last 20 minutes, because that is when the Crusaders put their foot down on the accelerator and go balls to the wall. So for me, the Highlanders really need to show up and produce the results. Now, last time these two teams met, it was 20 to 40 points. Again, yes, it's high margins, 20 points, but hence why I say, if the Highlanders can show what they're capable of in those last 10 to 20 minutes, then that score will not look like that. The Highlanders played solid rugby against this Crusaders team in that first half of that last game. They really proved that they can do it. But unfortunately, they tied at the end in that second half, and the Crusaders walked it. And this was, unfortunately, at home for the Highlanders. Now you're going over to Christchurch, where we all know the record is strong. They're favourites. They're dominant at home. But surprises have happened, and we saw it against the Hurricanes. If we look at previous occasions, Crusaders obviously are leading their head-to-head battle. Earlier in the year, from the original campaign, 33-13 was the score. Last year, they played twice. The score was 38-14, 43-17, all going the Crusaders' way. So the favour is definitely within the Crusaders. But again, anything is possible. And I think if you're a Blues fan, you're going to be desperate for a surprise shock return or shock win from the Highlanders. We've seen it happen in sport. Japan, South Africa, I know that's international. Ireland, Japan. Scotland, Japan. Uruguay, Fiji. We've seen it happen. Hurricanes, Crusaders, where a lot of people thought Crusaders would win. It didn't happen. So, as much as I want the Highlanders to win, because I really want the Blues to get a victory this year, I just don't see it happening. I think they'll come close. I think they'll put it in their absolute all performance, but I just don't see the Crusaders losing this one. They know what's on the line, and yes, pressure will get them, but I just feel those last 10 to 20 minutes, the Crusaders are going to put foot and take the win. For today's video, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, smash that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you real soon for another one. Stay safe and never give up. Cheers.